No, let's try again. Wondering where Fate is, how he is. What about the doctors? Some people. Oh, I look 100 years old there, Laura. Oh, you used to be so shockingly good looking, and now look at you, old hag bag. I'm a hag bag. Yeah. Right, is it working now, somebody? Please. Ugh. Talking to myself. Please thumbs in. Yes, thank you very much. I did it a different way. Appreciate it. Do you want to come and chat with me now? Little nut that is me. Zed's asleep, as she should be. Oh, she's kicking me in the back with her paws. Lovely. Where is everybody? Hello. I'm typing now. La da 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 da. There you go. Ah, Susie. I'm okay, Susie. It's just you and me here at the moment. Then I got doctors this morning. I don't like Tuesdays. Too much to do on Tuesdays, you know. It's like I've got the doctors at 7:45. Then I've got a dog training. Then I've got to go to the dog food shop and do my food shopping. And after that, I'm exhausted. Disappointed? What do you mean, darling, disappointed? I'm not disappointed. No. I said I don't like Tuesdays. That's all I said. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't like Tuesdays. It's always the same on Tuesdays, and especially with the doctors so early. You know, I've got like 11 things on prescription this month. No, I love to talk to you. I'm happy if it's just one person. I sometimes feel a bit overwhelmed when there's too many people. But, you know, I had a bit of a down day the other day and I was like, you know, so I just didn't bother doing anything. But Zed's been a bit naughty the last couple of days. I don't know what's going on with her. I think, you know, where she was on 3 days of medication and, you know, I just didn't work her that hard. She sort of got a build up of energy and she took off after a couple of joggers. And that was the day before yesterday. And then she took off after a bike. You know, she got told off, very told off. But, you know, this is college. She's so high. She's got such a high drive. And if I don't stay on top of it, she can be bitty sometimes. That's an understatement. She can be difficult sometimes. But I love her. It is who she is. I accept it. It's just finding new things to teach you. See, the thing with her, I mean, she doesn't mind practicing things too much, but she likes to learn new things. Yeah, absolutely. It's a movement thing, and she's out of a world championship hurdling line. You know, her grandsire was second in the world. Don't know what I'm expecting really, but you know, she knows not to do it. You see, on most days, you know, if there's a bike coming or joggers or anything, I just say, Zed, here, sit her in front of me, focuses on me, and they can just go past. But the last couple of days, she's been a little bit reactive, and I'm not sure why. You know, it's sometimes she just likes to. She does, and I think sometimes she likes to just check those boundaries and see if they're still in place. You know, yeah, there's her tail. Zed, are you going to come and say hello to Susie? Come up here. Yes. Hello, Auntie Susie, she says. I've just woke up. Very pretty, aren't you? You were a monster yesterday, weren't you? She goes, yes, Mummy. She goes, didn't you let me know it? I did let you know it. You were horrible. Hello, second person. I don't know if they'll say anything. I've got to tickle her tummy now. She does. She's absolute. She does. And if I am a bit down, and then obviously that's a weaker energy, she'll take advantage. She can be quite ruthless. Yeah, if Mummy's like happy clappy Laura, there's not a problem. But if I'm a little bit down or not strong in energy, she will take advantage. And it's just how she is, and she's still very young. I mean, she might technically be 2, but she lost so much training time sorting out behavioural problems in the first year from being badly bred, and the way she was raised in the first sort of 7.5 weeks of her life weren't very good, were they? She says, no, Mummy, don't hide. Put your face in there. She goes, Mummy, he's nag. I don't know about me being a nag. You're pretty much a nag. Let's get that sleepy dust out for you. There you go. You all right now? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a good girl, aren't you? You're a good girl. She's my headrest. She don't mind. She don't mind, do you, darling? She goes, no. She is perfect. I mean, she is who she is. Look, see, she wants cuddle now. Come forward. That's it. There you go. She insists on cuddle. I mean, she's just having a funny day. She's, a lot of people say that. I have a lot of conversations with Zed, don't we? She's not talking to me at the moment. She's sulking. She does a lot of sulking, Susie. It's like when she's naughty, she is really sorry afterwards. And I keep saying to her, yeah, well, it's nice that you're sorry, but it'd be better if you didn't do it in the first place. What? Well, it's true, Zeddy. Why do you have to do it and then get told off? Why don't you just be a good girl? She's got her nose stuck up like this. And she's got a black patch coming on the side of her nose. I threatened to bleach it if she didn't get rid of it. I wouldn't really. I don't know. She's a funny girl. I was wondering where Vate was. I feel a little bit concerned about Vate. I mean, I know I haven't done a live stream for a couple of days, but I hope he's okay. No sign of Winter Wolf or anybody else. Just it says there's 2 people on, but probably somebody just listening to me waffle on about a load of nothing, really. How are you anyway, Susie? Are you all right? Well, it wouldn't be any fun, would it? If she, I've said it and I'll say it again, if she'd been an easy dog, I'd have 3 or 4 dogs by now, but she's not. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think she ever will be. She's very independent, and she likes to push those boundaries if she can. They're very set, my boundaries. Oh, no. We don't want any red, do we? Never forget with YY, she was sitting behind me and it dripped down the back and she had a spot right in the middle of her head there. And it had to grow out, really. I cut it really short and then it grew out. What, Zeddy? All this nudging? Am I ignoring you? She says, Mummy, you've got to talk only to me, she says. Only to me. I don't think Zed would look so great red. I think she's a lovely little bloomer, aren't you? Yes, you are. You're going to be a good girl today. It's very windy here, Susie. We've got the remains of some hurricane from somewhere. It's really, really windy out there. I mean, when I took her out at 4 o'clock or somewhere, 4:45, it was just starting to rain. And I'm just thinking I'm going to have a wonderful training session in really windy rain. And I'll have to push her out the door. YY was absolute joy to do videos with. Completely different character to YY, to Zed, sorry. They're so completely polar opposites. No, that's the thing. It's not cold. It's actually quite muggy. And it's just really windy and, the rain's going to come down. No, it's just horrible weather. I was thinking, I mean, I know it's just, I've got a huge rip in my jean because we were doing some bite work and, I should say protection work. And she just came forward and grabbed my leg and she's ripped my jeans, but doesn't matter. I've only got 2 pairs now. It's just, it just happens. It's not cold. What's it like where you are, Susie? Is it all right? Got 3 people in. Please join in the chat. You know, you're very welcome, everybody. It's just me and the lovely Susie here. I wish it was a bit colder. I'm actually feeling a bit clammy, but who knows what that could be. What have you given me now, Zed? I haven't given you anything, Mummy. Suspicious. How's Jasper, Susie? Oh, I bet I know what YouTube's did. Faye, I was just wondering where you were. Hi, Faye. I was just saying to Susie, I was hoping you was okay. You okay, Faye? Okay, Susie, yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying, babe, but, you know, it doesn't stop my mind wondering where you are and how you are. You know, it's not an obligation to come and join in. I just worry. No, not worry. I just, you know, hoped you're okay after the other night, you know. We're okay. I had a bit of a down day the other day and Zed took advantage, as she would, of a little bit of weaker energy and was a bit naughty, Vate. Chased a couple of joggers, and that was the day before yesterday. And yesterday she went after a bike. She comes back when I call her, but it's not the point. She shouldn't do it. And she does know better. I mean, she was very sorry afterwards, but even so, she shouldn't do it. But she's, you know, I mean, she might be 2, but she's very immature, you know. And we lost a year really in training and in sorting out all the problems that the breeder created. I'm sure it was Sparkly Beam. Oh. It's always nice to have you here, Vate. It really is. It's lovely. Do you like housework, Vate? Well, not housework, but cleaning. I don't like cleaning. Zed makes me clean things. She's a bully. She's a nag, actually. It's like, Mummy, clean the floor. I have to vacuum every day, otherwise she has to go at me. She's too intelligent sometimes, if that's possible. Yeah, I suppose society says it's necessary. I don't mind vacuuming, but the dust can stay there because it's only going to come back anyway. And the last time I dusted, literally, was 2 years and 16 days ago. Literally. There you go. Because before I got Zed as a pup, I absolutely did spring clean the property. But I just don't have time. It's time, and it's also energy to do with health and stuff. And all my energy goes into sorting Zed out and keeping her happy, because she's got to be my priority. You know, if she's looking after me, then I have to give back to her as much as she gives to me, and vice versa. You know, it's a 2-way street, isn't it? I mean, she's, you know, now that she's saved my life once and you know, proven herself to be a very good Which book can you not read, Fate? I cannot believe there isn't a book you cannot read unless it's in a language that you don't know. Which quote is that, Susie, that you are referring to? I want to know a book that they can't read. And there's some things I can't read because I find disturbing or what have you, but I'm going to admit it here, okay? I just read fantasy, you know, dragons and stuff. I don't like Tolkien. I just don't. I read The Lord of the Rings and I just thought it went on and on and on. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Tolkien at all. You know, even though he was kind of the first ever fantasy writer, you know, it's not my thing. I like quite easy reading, Fate, because I read in bed to relax and I don't want to be having to get the dictionary out every 5 minutes. So I like, let's see if Fate knows these authors. I like Melanie Rawn. I like Piers Anthony. I like all those sorts of things. I'm just trying to think who the author is. I'm sure it's Melanie Rawn that I'm reading now. Mercedes Lackey. David Eddings, when he was, I think he's dead now, but he wrote some brilliant books. David Eddings. Excellent. That's the sort of thing I read all the time. You would have thought I had my books stuck in dog training books, wouldn't you? But no. Yes, Faye. Yes. Some images I think can be disturbing, and I think we have to sometimes protect our thought process and our mind. I really do. I think. See, I don't like them. Susie, I just don't like them. I mean, the bit where who is it? One of, you know, they're going up the mountain and the spider and all of that, and I just think, oh, for heaven's sake, get on with it. That's what I think, Susie. It just went on and on and on and on, and I was just getting bored. I like a nice, easy page turner, and that really gets me going. I mean, I'm reading a 6-part series at the moment. I love the first 3 books. Beautiful. Well, the book that started before Lord of the Rings was the Hobbit, wasn't it? But I get what you're saying. I think he did the Hobbit first and then Lord of the Rings, and that one I think was one he tried to slide in to sort of fit once he realised it was successful. But Tolkien is probably one of my least favourite fantasy authors, to be honest. I like nice, easy reading. Yeah, right. We don't. You know, who needs to read about all that darkness? It's enough of that on the world that we're living in now. I don't want to see. That's the thing. I like personally pure escapism in reading. I don't want anything that is even remotely related to anything that is going on now. Okay, Faye, I'm with you. I haven't read that one, but if I'm from what you said, I wouldn't want to read it anyway. I don't like being disturbed. I can get quite disturbed. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love reading. I think, you know, my books. I've got over 300 books, something like that, and they're all logged in a manual. They're all over the place, though. But I won't lend my books because you never get them back when you lend them. Well, I thought The Hobbit was the beginning as well, Fate, but clearly not. So we all learned something new, you know. I mean, see, I enjoyed The Hobbit because it was easier to read, and I mean, I own both books, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, but it's just, well, absolutely, elves, hobbits, and unicorns and dragons. I mean, there has to be dragons, but I don't like bad dragons. I mean, Anne McCaffrey wrote. I mean, she's passed now, I think. You know, I started reading fantasy when I was 15 with White Dragon, which is a beautiful, beautiful book. And from that moment, I haven't read anything else. I remember my mother saying to me, "Oh, you won't like that." And that was enough to make me like it. And from that moment, I haven't read anything else. I'd like a dragon. That young boy at 15-year-old that now Aragon, who wrote Aragon. I've got all his books as well. Beautiful books. So, Faye, Susie, what do you like reading then? You tell me what you read, people. Very interested to know what you read. Okay. See, I can't read anything, Susie. My mum used to read a lot of Stephen King. I can't read anything that is like frightening or anything. You know, I have enough problems with night terrors. I don't need to add to them. I can't believe anything is beyond you in a literary fashion. Oh, Susie, I tend to buy all my books and keep them because if I just love my books. I mean, some books I've read more than a dozen times. It's like, if I'm having a bad time, it's like sitting having coffee with a good friend and I just pick up a book that I've read before and I think, I know what's happening, but I love it anyway. And classes in session, we're not discussing Bibles. We're talking about fantasy and the things we like to read. If you want to read the Bible, that's just fine. I don't personally. No disrespect to anybody. You think it's elf language? It could be elf language, Fate. But no, seriously, I think there's a lot we don't know, Fate. Who knows? I think when you find something of a language that is non sort of recognizable, who knows? I'm sure you'll get to the bottom of it. Do you like research? Do you like studying, Fate? I love studying. If something interests me, I'm all over it. I'm like, I've got to learn about it. I want to know about it. Strike me as a similar sort of person. Yes, I thought you were. Yeah. I get quite obsessed. If I'm really interested in something and don't know anything about it, I think, I will commit time to it. I will make time for it. I will go without sleep. See, that's what's happened the other day, people. Alchemy, yes. Very interesting. Very interesting alchemy is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting subject, alchemy. So I was doing fine, and then I went and had a good night's sleep, and then I felt really depressed, so I thought I'm not going to sleep. I love your humour, Susie. Alchemy is complex. It's complicated. I think a lot of people get confused with alchemists and wizards and stuff. It's completely different. I mean, if only there was such a thing as magic, Out of interest, I'm going to ask you a question, you two. Vate, Susie, if you could have one only power, to, do anything like fly or be invisible or something like that, what would it be? I'm very interested in things like this. You'd want to heal. That's a good one. It's worth thinking about. I think about it. And I'd be quite happy just to have 10-minute conversation with Zed in a language that she really understood. That would be it for me. It'd be like, let's just give me 10 minutes where the dog understands properly. Where's she gone? Oh, she's over there. Yeah, I think you have emotion. Is it more memories that really you want to gather? I'm not so sure about that. Yes, I do, but it's like, I imagine like 10 minutes where, we kind of had a mind link and we could communicate, and I could say, right, look, if you just don't do this, this, and this, we'll get on fine all the time, so that her life would be easier. It's nothing to do with me. I just want her life to be easier for her, Even if I had that conversation, she'd be like, I'm going to do it anyway, because that's what she's like. But I think it's important to ask yourselves these things occasionally. If you could have one power, with all this, like Superman can fly and he's got all these powers. I mean, this is a really bad analogy, but if you could have, I wouldn't want to be invisible. I don't think. Yeah, probably. Yeah, she'd probably turn it round on me, Susie. She usually does. But, I just think it's important to think we are so fragile, really. Humanity is so fragile in so many ways. Emotionally, we're very fragile, a lot of us. And I just, sometimes I think, I wish I could do magic, and make a few people vanish that giving me a hard time. But they see that's actually quite negative, and I don't like to be negative if I can avoid it. I suppose I'd like to start again if I could. If I'm really honest, I'd like to start and do things much better and deal with things in a much more positive way than the way I did, I suppose, through my life, But I mean, that's hindsight, isn't it, really? And I think, as we grow, and it doesn't matter, I'm in my 50s now, but in my 60s, I'm going to look back. Interesting, Vate. I mean, I'm still trying to work out this major arrogance that humanity have, that we are the only possible living species in the whole of the universe. Because I'm sorry, I do see that as being very arrogant. Why would we be the only, beings that, in the universe? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even make common sense. And yet there's this huge human arrogance that we are superior to every animal, to everything on this planet, and we aren't. Nature made everything to fit together like a very finely pieced jigsaw puzzle, and there's a lot of arrogance out there, and I don't like it. I think humility goes a long way. That's just my opinion. Honesty is good morning, Vesna. Hi, Vesna. What are you doing up at this silly time of day? We're talking about all sorts of interesting things here. Yeah, that's really got me thinking, actually. I don't even know why the world is here. For what purpose are we here? Why are we here? Come on, Fate. You should know the answer to this. Why are we here? For what purpose? Because all we're doing is destroying a planet. So what are we here for? The concept of the world. Fate, can you reply to Susie, because you're better at you're very much more you've got more you're better, you got better articulation than I have. The concept of the world is, well, why is it here, Susie? What's it about? What is the world? What is the world's concept? I feel like Googling concept now to give you a dictionary breakdown of it. Fate knows. Fate, jump in here and help Susie out, please. You're more intelligent than I am by a long way. Yeah. I think there's a lot of humanity that is bent very much towards selfishness and greed rather than doing anything good per se for the planet. We're a very destructive race, and we shouldn't be. We should be nurturing the earth, not destroying it. That, again, is just my opinion. I agree with that, babe. I mean, at the moment, all that seems to be going on is we're sending satellite after satellite up into space and creating junk up there when we've got junk all over the planet. I don't know. It's quite complicated, I think. I really do. I think it's quite complex. You're so intelligent, Vate. You almost make me feel inadequate, but not quite. I've got to be at the doctor's in like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm okay, Vesna. Not too bad, thank you. Zed's being a bit naughty. Well, she has been the last. Well, you are being. You were the last couple of days. You haven't been today yet. She just looked at me as though to say, "I haven't been naughty today, Mummy." Yeah, I agree with that, babe. Come see Vesna. Come on. Oh, come on, sleepy girl. She goes, no. She's lying on the floor. She doesn't want to come say hello. No, I'm not either, Vate. I'm not. No disrespect to anybody who is into the Bible, but it's not my kind of thing either. I'm still trying to work out, Vate, if that book was just like some. I'm going to probably offend a lot of people now, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, is it just a load of stories to read kids like thousands of years ago? Yes, she is. She is asleep. Zed is asleep. She's down at my feet here, watching the news. I mean, it was all like about the Turin shroud. You know, they were saying that that's what Jesus was wrapped in and all of that, and it turned out to be a fake. So, you know, I kind of not into all of that. You've got to have faith in self. I think is important. I'm going to offend so many people. I will spend my life offending most people. You got them in bed with you, Vesna? Really? I got my Zeddy down here. She's a good girl. We've got 6 people in. Please feel free to join in the conversation. We are chatting philosophy, all sorts of things today. I'm glad you're okay, Vesna. Oh, I've been up since I got up at 6 o'clock yesterday evening. Yeah, you see, Susie, that I can understand. You know. I mean, I'm sure everybody's been watching the news, or maybe not. But you know, it's like with with Catholicism. I mean, what is going on there? It's just like a minefield field of abuse. How can they say they're doing that in the name of God or anything else. There just is a lot of negativity associated with the church at the moment. It's not doing them any favors. I have, it's something I have looked into. I'm not speaking from a place of ignorance. I have looked into it. It just doesn't sit with me. You don't have the kind of life I've had unless it's been like one lesson after another to teach me something, like to be really humble and, strong or whatever. But I don't know. I think I've had this conversation with people that go to church, and, I've said, well, why have all these thousands of people been killed? And the answer they come back with is because God needs more angels. And I'm thinking, if God needs more angels, then there's got to be a war up there as well. What's that, Vate? I'm trying to capture something which I have no knowledge of. What's that, my friend? I nearly called you my darling then. I don't want to offend you, though. It's a little bit over familiar, isn't it? I believe in a higher being, but I'm sort of more nature related. I believe in Mother Nature. I believe that that everything was created by nature, is here for a reason, even though we might not like earwigs, Susie. But they're all here for a reason. I mean, I've got a couple of huge spiders living in here somewhere. I sometimes think, where are they? I've probably swallowed them in the night or something. I don't know. I'm waiting for Vate to tell me what he has no knowledge of. See, there's humility for you. He admits he doesn't know everything. Because that's the thing I don't like, is people that sort of sit around saying they know it all and they're closed-minded to learning anything different, or, looking at something from a different way. Yes, absolutely, Susie. I agree with that totally. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, it's just someone on the news saying they had they had a loving relationship with a magpie. I had a magpie that I saved from a cat. I raised it, dug up worms for it, did all of that as a tiny child, but that little magpie thrived. Yeah, Vesna's just saying she doesn't know how to write anything without Google Translate. Okay, she's not being rude or anything. Don't worry, Vesna. Passed on the message. That's weird though, Vate. Wow. Wow, Vate. Wow. That's just weird. I do think there are things in this world that maybe we as the general public are not being told about, that happen. And apparently, those that are higher up in government and whatnot think we might not be able to deal with. And I think they hide a lot of things. Who knows what that was, Vate? I certainly don't think we know about everything on this planet. I really don't. I mean, there are large areas of the planet that haven't even been explored, and not to mention the ocean. So no human knows everything, and no human ever will know everything. And I think the sooner the ego gets put down, the better. It's amazing how numbers have dropped from 6 to 3. Clearly it was over their heads. Meeting of minds. That's really odd, Vate. That's really odd. Does anybody have lucid dreams? Wow. Interesting. And I've had some pretty horrific kind of weird things happen. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was some kind of flying creature, and if it's going to be have claw size that big, who knows? Who knows? It makes me wonder sometimes. It really does. I think there's all sorts of things out there that we're being, that's being hidden from us, and I don't like that. If there's something on this earth that is a bit odd, because I just think if anything slightly different is found on the planet, it's caged, it's experimented on, and ultimately probably killed, because that's what humanity does to things they don't understand. They kill it. So who knows? Yeah, it's a shame, It's almost like fear dominates humanity, really, because it's like, well, we don't know what that is. We don't know anything about it. Kill it. They experiment and they kill. And that's not the way to learn. That's not the way forward for knowledge. If I found like something from outer space, first thing I'd want to do is learn how to communicate with it, not experiment on it, not try to hurt it. Knowing me, I'd probably want to feed it. Yeah. Who knows, babe? It could be anything. Oh, Susie. See, I just don't have that kind of fear. I have a curiosity and, like said, a huge love of learning. And I would just want, first of all, I'd want to make sure that it wasn't afraid of me. I'd probably go through a whole of like stuff that works with dogs. So that's really insulting, but dogs are not unintelligent. And just to make myself seem non-threatening, I'd want to learn. I'd want to learn more about it. Not this sounding a bit ET-ish, isn't it, people? Like little Elliot in ET. Yeah, you see, Susie, I'm not that worried about my own butt. I just want to learn, and it's I put. I mean, I get myself into so much trouble because I like learning, and I won't be bullied, so I stand my ground. And I have so many people saying, Laura, you shouldn't do that. You're going to get in trouble. But, I'm just not backing down on some things, you know. Yes, but do you want to capture it? Wouldn't it be better to have it, they sort of visit you on its own terms and you can sit and try and communicate with it rather than capture it? Because by capturing it, that's almost a form of enslavement, and we can't do that to things we don't understand. We have to be accepting. There's not enough acceptance in this planet is big enough for, if people stopped breeding quite so much, it would be big enough to take on, the slightly more unusual. We can't cage things. I mean, captivity, what is that? That is a limitation of life. It's restriction. It's a lack of freedom, and I think freedom is very important to just about every living creature. I think that's important. I don't think even a dog stuck on a lead for life is any kind of life. They need to run. I want to be free. I'm restricted by laws, governmental rules, and things have to be this and things have to be that. I don't want that. I want to be free. So if me as a human being wants to be free, what right do I have to cage or trap anything? I don't have that right. Otherwise, that would make me a total hypocrite. And I can't be a hypocrite. I won't be a hypocrite. I'll fight tooth and nail for my freedom, one way or another. I mean, I'm trapped. I'm totally trapped, and I don't like it. I don't think any living thing likes to be trapped. So, it's a very interesting conversation, people. Thank you very much. Actually stretching my brain. I like stretching my brain. You must remember this conversation, Fate. Don't try and capture it. I try and feed it. Yeah, absolutely, Susie. I mean, I remember with Sally doing an agility competition with the helicopter rotors going. All the other dogs were frightened and freaking out. My Sally, she just carried on. Yeah, very powerful creature. But then again, Fate, it might be some weird something that's been created by mankind, just like parvovirus was back in 1978, and HIV. That so many things are being man-made that they try to hush up. And I think it's, you should be impressed by it. No matter what it was, it's impressive. But if it was of flesh and bone, it has a right to its freedom. If it's something that the government is made or messing about with, then I think there's too much messing about with genetics and stuff at the moment, and cloning, and I don't think we should be cloning anything. Yeah, you just don't know, Susie. I mean, they're still finding new creatures, new fish, new animals. So we're never going to know it all. And I think it should remain that way. I don't think everything should be laid out nice and easily for everybody. I think there should be a need to look further than what's in front of us. Everybody's in such a hurry these days. Everybody needs to slow down, calm down. Yeah, I agree, Native Eight. I think so. Yeah, I don't think we know all of nature's animals. I think nature has made it so that some animals are very hidden in and of their essence, if you like, so that they can remain out of human hands. Vesna, very complicated conversation. Sorry, darling. You've had some interesting things happen, Vate. I could spend hours talking to you. It's just I would imagine, Susie, if it was big enough to show on a wrap up on a radar, the government would hide that information anyway. They like having their little secrets, don't they? Vesna is in. I'm trying to remember where Vesna. Where do you live? It's that's it, Serbia. Thank you. Lots to think about, Vate. I shall be getting distracted in my dog training whilst I'm being blown across the field. Probably will be blown across the field as well. We've got gales out there. So, Faye, have you had any other things happen to you that is as interesting like that? Any more encounters of the sort of slightly odd type? put that in my pocket. Sorry, people. Yeah. I'd like to know more about that book. So I said I'm just putting my list in my pocket of everything that I've got to get today. On the dreaded Tuesday. You have to let me know more about that book. But if you don't understand, any of the language, I mean, we have got very strong winds here, Vesna. I'd like to see, Fate, some of that writing out of that book. Fate, do you even know what the title of the book is? I suppose not. If it's written in the same title, as in the same language as what's in it, you're not even going to know the title, are you? Okay. Now, I've heard that word somewhere before, and I'm trying to remember where. Just going to write that down, actually, Nate. Vate, gotta stop. It does sound familiar. Right, I've got that written down. Going to look into that, and I will let you know. It does sound familiar. That it does. I will let you know if I find out anything, but I'm sure if you can't, then I've got no chance. But I will. You never know, do you? You don't know unless you try. Vesna, where does Vesna, where does your husband sleep then? If you've got the dogs in your bed? That's bugging me. I've heard them where, and I don't know where. Ah. Thank you, Susie. Would have been an interesting person to have a chat with, Tolkien, I expect back in the 50s when he was writing, he was probably considered slightly nuts, a bit like myself. Ladies, I'm going to have to wrap this up because I've got to be at the doctor's in like 45 minutes. I could sit here and talk all day. I'm going to have to shut this down because I've got to get ready and sort Zed out and go to the doctor's and all that sort of boring stuff. Shopping. The only bit I don't mind doing is the training bit. The rest of it I really don't want to do, but there you are. That's life, isn't it? Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Fate, Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Especially as he was the first one to kind of start that kind of thing, Fate. I mean... Bye, Susie. Right, I've got to go, people. Huge love. Hugs to you all. Bye. Bye. Thanks.